Hey, and welcome back to the cafe. So I got a couple requests on how I make these little coffee stain pages with the gold shimmer and the white. So I wanted to just show you real quick how I put these together. These are really beautiful and they're done on extra large index cards. And I love this paper. It's just such a nice paper to coffee stain on and paint on and do all kinds of stuff with. So what I've done here is just laid out a bunch of, these are a little bit smaller index cards just for the purposes of the video. I wanted to be able to fit quite a few on here. So the first thing you want to do is just take a bit of water and do the back side, because your papers are going to bow really bad if you don't. So I'll do this real quick and be right back. All right, now that these are all wet on the back a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and really spray them good with my coffee mixture. This should be a mist. Okay, well, it doesn't want to mist. Of course, it's because I'm filming, as usual. There it goes. That's a little better. So I just like to really coat these completely with coffee here. Trying not to make a mess all over everything. You want to protect your floors and your table and all your goodies doing this. It's a very messy art form. Okay, so now that those are pretty well coated, I just want to walk away and let them dry quite a bit. And I'll time it and let you know when I come right back. So these have been sitting for about a half hour now, and not really that long. This goes pretty quick here. Now what I've got here is just my large bottle of instant coffee mix, and to get this large one I use right around 3 cups of water, and I do about 4 heaping tablespoons of instant coffee to my 3 cups of water. But of course you got to just mix to taste and get the right shade that you would like to have. Now I've got this little lid with the white paint, and this is just, all I'm using is Anita's all-purpose acrylic white paint today. And then I've got my little water bottle here, and I've got another lid here with this Folk Art Pure Gold also. And whatever gold you have will work great, whatever white you have will work great. Now you want your paint to be really thin down. So I'm going just about like that. And you want a nice spatter brush. So now you just really want to mix your paint and your water up and get a nice, really thin kind of skim milk consistency. So I'm going to need a little bit more water in here. I get my index cards at Walmart. Like I've said before, that it is nothing fancy and nothing special. So timing on this little technique is something you got to watch. I like to go ahead and mix both my white and my gold up ahead of time, so I've got them both ready to go. Oh, that's beautiful. You want it to really be able, you want your paint to really be able to move on the paper. So lovely. Okay. So now that I've got this first coat of coffee and it's starting to do fun things and it's starting to set in a little bit, I want to go ahead and do another layer of coffee. And you can do this as uniform or as spattered as you like. I'm really just trying to get some water. You want the pages to be more than damp. You want them wet, but they don't need to be, I don't know, pretty wet. This is just kind of a messy art form. What could I say? You want them juicy. We'll say that. How about that? All right, now that you've got that, now here's the thing about this art form. I've got a couple paper towels handy here too. And the thing you want to keep in mind is your spatters are going to be, the drier your paper, the more prominent your spatters are going to be. I really want some flow with this first layer, so I'm going to just come in here. I'm going to just dry these a bit, just get rid of the puddles so that it's not a crazy mess. Now these are nice and juicy, these pages, and I'm coming in with the white, and I just really want to spatter that white into those pages and let it flow and move around as it wants to. I put quite a bit here, but that's okay. It's going to look nice. I like the look of this. I love to add some pizzazz to my coffee stained pages. Now, I can come back after these have dried for a while and add some more white spatter, which I will go ahead and do. Now, here's this gold. And we're going to just do the same exact thing. Easy peasy. Kind of want to work close to your stuff. The higher up you spatter, the more of a mess you'll make, of course. I really don't. I love gold paint, but I really don't want it all over all my stuff back here. I have a bunch of stuff on my table out of frame, so I'm trying not to paint all of that as well. Now this is just going to mash and blend around, and if you've got a little, this is pretty thick, I'm seeing this gold paint, so sometimes you just got to play with your adjustments a little bit. And what I want to do while the papers are drying, I want to make sure and keep my paintbrushes wet, because I don't want to have to remix that paint. And it's not going to be that long. So when this gold is not moving as much as you want it to, just come in and give it a squirt with some coffee and get it moving. Now this is the tricky part. You got to kind of walk away and just let this work its magic. So I'll be back. I'll time it again. All right, so it's been about another half hour, and boy, do we have a beautiful mess going here. Look at this page. Now, these are still very damp, and I'm going to let them sit overnight and dry, but I love how this one came out already. Now, it was pretty dried, so my gold spatter really did kind of end up looking like spatter, and it's a timing thing. And it's how wet your paper is. So you get it. You just got to play around with it. So now I'm going to add one more little layer for fun. You don't have to do these many layers. Normally, I don't. Normally, I do around, 2 layers of the coffee and then 1 layer of the paint. But as they dry a little bit more, if you want more prominent spatter, you can get it. I like how the white's looking on this one here, so I'm going to stay away from that. But I want the white to show up more on some of these other ones. So normally what I do specifically is I'll do the first layer just like we did of the coffee, and then I will come in and do the white and do the gold just like we did, and then I let all that dry almost completely, and then if I want really prominent spatter, I hit them again, and if I don't, if I want them to just mesh softly, then I just stop and let them dry completely. So on this one with the gold, you can see where it really spread out here, and then here's where the paper was a little bit more dry, and this did not travel as much. So it really is a timing thing. The drier your paper, the more prominent your spatter, of course, and the wetter your paper, the more of a smooth blend you're gonna get. And I really want somewhere in between both of those, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't want them to blend so much that they just become a wash of this white and gold and coffee where you can't see any difference. I want to be able to see like this, you know what I mean? And that requires a little bit of movement. So just play around, and it's easier than I am making it sound, I promise. And you'll end up with some really gorgeous papers. And you know, don't stop with index cards. This is just one of my favorite papers to work on. I'm going to add a little bit more gold. I can't resist. But try all different kinds of papers. Whatever paper you can think of that you like to work with, or that you think might look nice with these finishes on it, just go for it and see what you can come up with. So I'm going to let these dry completely, and I will come back and show you each and every one of them. Here's these beautiful little index cards, all dried and ironed, and the gold at certain angles looks really gorgeous and metallic, and then at other angles, of course, it looks nice and matte, and it flowed beautifully on this one with that white paint. You can really get some stunning results with this little technique. Now, as you saw, we did 10 little index cards this time around. Now this one has a lot of variation. That all comes from the extra layers of coffee. Coffee really does some magical things when you do a layer, let it dry, do another, you get it. So we did 10, and I just went ahead and did 5 of these with trying to get that sheen for you. It's a little tough. I did 5 on the back, and then I did 5 lined ones, just so that you could see the difference, the really neat difference that you can get with these little index cards. I want to be able to hold everything as still as possible, but I really do need to shift these so that you can see the beauty of the gold. That's a nice view, real prominent. So your metallics will do that. They'll give you different looks, of course, depending on the angle of the paper you're looking at. Just a couple more here. So I hope you give this a shot. It's very easy. It is very messy, and it is like I was saying, it's a timing thing for sure, but you get some incredible, beautiful little cards for your stash, and then you have them at the ready for your mark making, your collage work, or whatever else you'd like to do with them. So come on back, and I will see you very soon. Have a great day.